Gamers of Reddit, what have you learned from video games that you surprisingly used in real life? The English language. Well, at least gaming helped a lot to improve my skills. Same. English is not my first language. I learned a lot of words from video games. Bedrock is the lower layer of rock, and it's unbreakable. My first games I played of Minecraft were with Minecraft Pocket Edition. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just play PC. I played with a friend, and the first time I found Bedrock he told me I could break it if I started mining it and waited long enough. So I sat there holding my phone, uselessly chopping at Bedrock for like 5 minutes before my friend broke it to me. Pun intended. Typing very quickly. You had to type very fast to talk shit in Counter-Strike. Dodge rolling is an effective way to get out of awkward situations. No one questions you if you dodge roll away mid-conversation. A lot of people used to learn English from the old text-heavy RPGs like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger. I'm a native English speaker myself, but I have learned vocabulary from those games. Also, League of Legends has taught me how to remain calm under pressure, like when everything is going wrong and you have a load of mates screaming at you for no real reason. When I was young, I learned some of the more specific rules to sports through video games. Definitely offsides in soccer/football. I learned how to drive manual in Gran Turismo 5 using my racing wheel, shifter, and clutch pedal set. Not very interesting, but hey, helped me pass my test, given that the takeout on my clutch was not forgiving at all in my first car. I've learned how to play with a real guitar semi-decently through Rocksmith. What an awesome and useful game. For me, it was better than lessons, because I could learn what I wanted, and not what the tutor made me learn/practice. Reaction time for sure. I worked in warehouses all my younger years. Tetris taught me everything I know. My feeling of direction has gotten significantly better. This and spatial awareness for sure. I automatically start assembling a mental model and mini-map for any area I visit. The Sims really managed to drive home the concept of getting the stuff you have to do done first, so you can be free to do what you want. I learned from Farming Simulator that when the plow is too deep into the ground you must make it go a little higher, so your tractor doesn't have a bad time. Minecraft helped so much in school, mostly in science lessons. I used to use a lot of mods and play the tech like mod packs, so I was used to making alloys and the names of a lot of metals. Also maths, able to divide 64 quite well. Minecraft mods have taught me more than college so far. No shit, I did an escape room with my co-workers, and it was like being a wizard in a room with a bunch of drunk children. I've seen so many different puzzles, so many times it was a walk in the park. Playing MMOs has definitely increased my vocabulary a lot with older words and terms, and has also taught me a lot of patience and organizational skills in real life. I used to be very OCD about keeping my UI and inventory clutter-free and clean. This applies to real life now with nearly everything, even job related. Playing shooters. I'm not going to say they helped me fire a gun better, but it gave me a general better perception of how it works, aim down sights. So it did help a little bit. Reminds me of this story. World of Warcraft skills saved boy and sister from moose attack. The two children were out walking in a forest near their home and had strayed into the territory of a moose. The animal decided to attack the intruders, putting both their lives at risk. Hans had to think quickly as to how to save his sister, and brought to mind some of the skills he had learned playing the MMO. The first skill that came to mind was Taunt, which in the game attracts the attention of a mob, but in this instance, attracted the attention of the moose onto Hans, while his sister escaped. With his sister then safe, Hans needed a way of saving himself, so called upon another World of Warcraft skill, Feign Death. So many. History because of Assassin's Creed, teamwork and strategizing from R6, English from story games, driving from The Crew 1 and 2, hand-eye coordination, gun knowledge, crafting knowledge, mech, arc, rust, etc., becoming more social, and talking to others, and lots of more things. Running through a first aid booklet with my teenager earlier tonight. He's doing the training tomorrow, and I started talking about EpiPens. Right. So, just like a stim shot from Call of Duty, he said. Okay then. This shouldn't be the case, but driving was easier to pick up after playing so many racing games growing up. I was a bit late to getting my license, so I was worried it'd be very different to the games I played, which is expected. But, while in many ways it's completely different, I found some things like road positioning and learning when to brake a bit easier to pick up. The main difference is that the speed bumps in videos games don't scream in agony. How to rage quit and tell someone to fuck off when they cheat. Actually overcame shyness and learned to be a leader from 40-man raiding in World of Warcraft Vanilla. Would conduct meetings first in charge of mages and then in charge of all DPS before new raid encounters. I'd say it definitely helped improve typing. That was primarily from RuneScape. It also created skepticism. If anything someone is offering seems too good to be true. That helped, especially with all the phone calls nowadays that go around trying to get iTunes or Amazon cards from people. I play a survival roguelike called Cataclysm DDA from time to time, and its crafting system is so epic that it has inspired me to learn some of those crafts myself. From new dishes to try out, I tried and failed to make Cullen skink once, to more relevant stuff that can be used to save a tiny bit of money, like a kiln to make my own charcoal. I no longer need to pay €2 for fuel to grill some steaks. I have even begun working on a pneumatic pellet rifle that works with a tank of compressed air to fire the pellets. Still on the hunt for materials, but the whole thing costs like €50. If you buy everything, it just feels more fun to look for stuff you can't buy yourself. Like, I'm going to need some sort of electric actuator to act as a trigger, which I will have to buy, but there's not way in hell I'm buying the tank. I'd rather use an empty jug of milk than buy something specialized. And lately I've been thinking about trying to build a steam engine, just for shits and giggles. I mean, I do have free charcoal. There are a ton of DIY videos on YouTube to guide you through most of that stuff. How to manage my emotions extremely well. I don't get angry without thoroughly thinking about something and removing myself from a situation. I'm also relatively calm in high pressure situations, but to be fair, that's only happened twice, so it could have been a fluke. Saving for important long-term purchases instead of greater short-term benefits. A lesser-known game called Tanky Online had it, that you could buy short 30s boost or permanent upgrades. It was common to see people with equipment way behind for their rank due to bad spending habits, and vice versa. I wouldn't call it learning exactly, more like inspiration. But anyways, when I was at my friend's place last month, I had to suddenly make a run for the toilet. After a few steps I felt something give under my soul, accompanied by a pathetic high-pitched shriek. Turns out I had accidentally stepped on his pet rat and crushed its spine. Naturally, I didn't feel like telling him this. I pocketed the rat and went to the toilet as if nothing had happened. At first I wasn't sure what to do because I quickly realized the animal was too big to flush, but then I saw some scissors lying on the counter. Out of nowhere, I remembered all my years of playing Tetris when I was younger. So, in some sort of Sherlock Holmes moment, I immediately saw in my mind's eye the optimal way to cut up the rat like a geometrically pleasing jigsaw puzzle. After I was done, I flushed down the head and went back to my friend. Then, during the course of the day, as we hung out in different rooms, I patiently hid the separate limbs under pillows, in cracks in the wall and little boxes I stumbled upon. So far he hasn't found out, I think. So all this Tetris playing really saved my ass, thank you Russia. A lot of surgeries are moving away from cutting people open and more so non-invasive surgeries or procedures with interventional radiology, manipulating cameras, catheters, or image-guided procedures. Ablutions, biases, are much easier for gamers. The hand-eye coordination is definitely more strong for us gamers. I learned how to make syrup from a recipe book in Divine Divinity back in 2002. I made the syrup out of orange and lime juice, sugar, and water. It made for a fantastic breakfast after we made waffles and found out there was no more syrup. Leading guild raids in World of Warcraft made me a real-life charismatic leader. Everyone in my class in university wants me on their group projects, and they always approach me for advice on public speaking. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends.